Hello folks, and welcome to the long overdue art competition results video. I'm very excited to share with you today the works of many of our artists who participated in this event. I think we'll just dive right in and we'll start going through some of the specifics here. So a brief recap, we're going to go over what the competition entailed and some of the specifics behind what we expected from participants. We will then very quickly move into our honorable mentions, our meritorious entries. So these are the folks who we would consider went above and beyond, although they weren't necessarily winners. And then the winners category. So these are the folks that we are going to reach out to for probably many more cards. So some of the details of the competition. I personally reviewed over 100 different portfolios. From those portfolios that were sent to me, I selected 13 artists with the help of a couple other folks to give it a cursory review. I think one person can be pretty biased, so I want to get a few different opinions. But from I would say a small panel of reviewers, 13 artists were selected. Each artist was given 2 weeks to draw Margot. So Margot, of course, is one of our staple characters, a general in the universe, and her concept art is shown here on the screen. One specific fact is that no review of their art pieces occurred prior to delivery, so I pretty much told them, here's Margot, go out and draw her in the way that you think would be best for the universe for this card game. And of course I gave them a few other bits of reference material and provided them specifics on Margot's background if they were interested. But I really wanted this to be sort of an artistic expression of themselves and of the game. So a few criteria that was considered. Now mind you, I did not share this with them, but these were the things that I tried to think through when reviewing the various entries. So quality and accuracy, I think quality is pretty obvious. You might see some funnier examples of folks who fell beneath that line towards the end of the video. Accuracy, so capturing Margot's details, her color schemes, the proportions, and whatnot is very important to me because I think without capturing those specifics, she loses much of her feel. The speed at which they got it done, the cost at which they got it done, and then just subjectively how I felt their design fit on a card. And the style that they decided to draw Margot in for that card. And I mean, this is obvious, I hope, to many folks, but remember, art is oftentimes very subjective. So if you don't agree with my rankings and you're like, you know, Mick, that artist is the best artist I've ever seen, or best piece of art I've ever seen, you can support that artist. I will link them in the description. All artists you see today will be linked in the description. You are welcome to reach out to those folks and request your own commissions. Okay, so up first we have Juan. So Juan is our first honorable mention. I think Juan did a nice job here. And I'm going to move a little quickly through these just because we have so many to review, but the details were a little off. Color scheme wasn't great for a card. It didn't really pop, but it was a great drawing. He put in a lot of effort and time. It's easily tellable. So I appreciate you, Juan, for submitting your entry. Text illustrations. So text illustrations has very much a different style of drawing, and although their Margot was quite good, I don't think it fits the feel of a card game as much as I would have wanted it to. So although clearly a talented artist, ended up in our honorable mentions category. Nicole. So Nicole, I thought the Margot character itself was pretty unique. It looked great. The scythe a little too small for my liking, and also the background a little too choppy. So although clearly a talented artist, able to draw characters just fine, decided to move on past Nicole for the upper categories. And then lastly, Hector's piece. So Hector had a different take on Margot. He sort of changed her physique up a bit, which I didn't hate, but again, specifics were important here. So we moved past Hector as well. All right, moving into our Meritorious Entries. So these are folks who I thought were exceptional, and we may reach out to in the near future for different card art. Levi, personally, was one of my favorite artists. He has like a creepier style to his art, and I could definitely see us reaching out to him for maybe some of our more darker entries. But Levi, I think his art speaks for itself. Very good, proportions are great, and he does have that creepier feel to his art. So Christian clearly is good at capturing the details here. Also, proportions are great. The only thing that kept Christian from being in the winner's bracket, at least in this case, was just the feel of the card. It doesn't feel maybe as active or as card-like as I might want. I know that's very subjective, but that is art. So. And then Ace Kingston, I love the forward momentum that he tried to draw in this piece. Basically, Margot is rushing towards you. You can really feel that forward momentum in his design. But he does clearly have a very, what I would deem comic booky style, cartoonish style, which just simply isn't what we're looking for at this time. But still an excellent artist. Would certainly recommend him if your style of art suits that taste. And then Abner's piece, very close to being a winning entry. I think what kept it from being a winning entry in my mind was just Margot herself. I can't really put my finger on it, but there's something off about the way she's designed here. However, the background of his card, the perception and the colors really look like a card to me. He also put ample time into the background, which I really appreciated. So nice job there, Abner, with your approach. Okay, moving right into our winners category. So our first winner is Ben J Creations. So what I like about this piece is 1, the detail, 2, the lighting, and 3, it feels like a card. Right, so you have these bright colors, the character pops in the center of the screen, most of the character will fit in the resolution of the card, and overall it just feels like a card. This is another entry from Ben J, so for those that I thought could be winners, I asked them to draw a second piece, and if they got it in on time, I was going to put it into this video. So Ben J also drew Nasetari, who is our elf nature goddess, and as you can see, I think his details and his card art style speaks for itself. It really does feel like a trading card. And then Jeff Sadzinski, ooh, gotta get that out this morning. This is probably, without being too biased, my favorite piece, and here's why. 1, the character Margot is dark, but a jester, right? She's playful, scary, dark, and I think he really captured that in this piece. I love the way her hands look. I love that he painted her fingernails. I really love everything about it. The perspective is great. The background is simple, but it still catches your eye. Very nice job, Jeff. Jeff also drew our Beastmaster, so you see them here. Just an excellent card art artist. I think he'll go a long way in this space, and we're excited to work with him. And then Zakura, who was a rather late entry, but I think his skill speaks for itself. I like the forward momentum, and compared to, say, the last piece we saw that had forward momentum, what makes this different is that it's more realistic. So I want to see more from Zakura. I think he has a lot to offer for us, and look forward with working with him to draw some select characters. He also submitted some various mock-up illustrations, which I think even highlight his skill a bit better, perhaps, than the final illustration. So this is clearly representing his ability to capture movement, and also the different physiques of these characters. And then, if we had to pick a grand winner, it would probably be Nils. So Nils and forgive me, Nils, if I'm pronouncing your part of your name wrong here, but Nils is an exceptional artist, to say the least. I think the detail here is above and beyond what we would have expected. Mind you, the price is also a little bit high, but with that price, you do get quality, right? You do get quality, and I think the quality here far exceeds any increase in price that might come from such a piece. We asked him to draw a second piece, which might be my favorite piece of art that we have for Blitz at this time. And this is, of course, Nasetari again. And he is just really able to capture that energy, bow feel, and nature vibe that we want to come off of her. So very nice job, Nils, on both your entries. All right. And with that said, we'll move into a bonus slide. So these are a couple artists, and luckily we didn't run into many of these, but these are a couple artists that tried to get one past me. They skipped the details a bit. So the artist on the left, it might be a little hard to tell, but this hand here is actually just clip art. So they went to Google Images and they took a picture of somebody's hand and they pasted it on top of Margot's arm. And overall, unfortunately, I think their portfolio is fake, because this piece, and although we won't, point fingers or name names, their portfolio looks nothing like this. So, and then the second artist here, which sadly enough, clearly is able to draw to a high degree, certainly much better than myself. What they ended up doing, though, was drawing the character, Margot herself, fairly well, but then using clip art to basically take the concept scythe and expand it out. So they actually didn't draw this scythe. This scythe is just a copy paste from the reference art that you saw at the beginning of the video. So a bit disappointed in both these pieces, but overall our winners did a phenomenal job, and we very much look forward, and I personally look forward to working with them in the coming months to draw upwards of 150 to 200 cards for initial release. So get ready, folks. I have a lot of requests coming your way. Thank you all for your time today, and we'll talk again soon. See ya.